So, Netflix's Devil May Cry anime show featuring Dante from No Man Cry Babies out there, and it's okay. I had a lot of doubts for the show. The more stuff got announced, the more worried I got. And I was terrified that there was gonna be another reboot situation, but I'm happy to inform you that it's not as bad as the reboot, but I wouldn't say it's as good as the games either. Okay, let's be real. The DMC game series lore isn't as Shakespearean masterpiece like some people make it out to be. Just me, I'm one of those people that do that. But the games have their own charm with their own themes, mainly about the Sparta family and their very fucking dysfunctional family dynamic, with also like very good mix of stylish and cool shit. I'm saying all of this in order to understand the Netflix anime and how I feel about it. And I had to make it clear how I feel about the game lore first. So, Netflix Dante Adventures is directed by
Adi Shankar.
an interesting fella, but most importantly, he's the creator of the Castlevania series, another game series with sexually men. And he's been very passionate about his take on the Devil May Cry universe. So, how did he do?
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah, that's pretty good. The show is mostly extreme balls to the walls action, with a hint of, like, interesting character writing and world building. The show takes heavy liberties on some of their characters and their world. Some changes are pretty interesting and cool, and some of them aren't implemented as well as intended. For example, this show has a heavy emphasis on the United States fucking government trying to fight the forces of hell. I know, it's stupid it sounds. The show also tries to make us heavily empathize with demons. The main villain is framed as this terrorist pseudo freedom fighter-esque figure. And it's also weird that the show has a very r/atheist kind of ideals. It doesn't help that the US government agents are framed as religious people who act cartoonishly evil from time to time, and justifying it as righteous. And it's even weird that I'm bringing shit like this up while talking about Devil May Cry. I know it probably sounds like I'm just shitting on this show, but there are good stuff in there, trust me. I'm just going over the negative stuff before getting the meat going. To me, the most problematic part of the show was what it did with some of the characters, and this is mainly about Lady. Not to go too much into spoiler territory, but they did some drastic changes to her backstory, which kinda ruined her character. Plus, it also isn't helped by that her dialogue is constantly her nagging about demons or swearing.
Who caught who now, motherfucker?
Swearing doesn't make you cool.
And top of my bitching list, I have the dialogue. It's very quippy, and I know DMC dialogue usually is like that, but the one-liners are bad. It's usually just references to other properties or characters, or just explaining what happened. Think of Deadpool dialogue, but it's even worse than it usually is. One positive I gotta say about the show, I think that the animation looks good. Comic book-esque art style meshes well with Devil May Cry, and there are moments where they experimented with different art stuff. There's 2D animation, there's 3D animation, and there's also this beautiful storybook style sequence which has a completely different animation style to the rest of the show. The best episode is the one explaining the villain's backstory. It's 30 minutes of wordless storytelling. There is no dialogue until the very end. It feels so surreal to watch. It makes you feel like you're watching a completely different show. And the way it's framed, it makes you forget all the shit parts of the world building. It somehow manages to make it work. And of course, I can't talk about Devil May Cry without mentioning action. I mean, hell, the game is a hack and slash game, and I'm happy to inform you that the action is great. There's a lot of different set pieces, the movement is fluid, and that's really when the animation shines. It really feels like you're watching someone play a video game. I also really like the voice cast. Johnny Young Bosch proves that he can be more than dead weight. He really gets in the role of Dante, and by the end of the season, I really like his interpretation of the Wacky Boohoo Pizza Man. He managed to make the cringy lines work just enough so that they aren't unbearable. The late Kevin Conroy also plays a pretty major role in the story, and he's excellent as always. His presence is insane, he has a very commanding voice which really fits his character, and I also love seeing him playing a morally grey character. Scott Taylor Compton also does a serviceable job as Lady. She does a good job, but her line delivery kind of feels bland at some points. But I feel like that's not due to her voice acting talents, that's just because of the material she was given wasn't that good. But the real showstealer to me is Hoon Lee as the rabbit. He oozes charisma. He steals every scene he's in. His voice is perfect. I really loved his character. He makes every scene so much better with him just being in it. He managed to make a character I did not care about and make him probably my favorite character of the season. That is overall everything I have to say about Devil May Cry. I think that the show is serviceable and it works fine as an adaptation of the series. There's a lot to improve on it. The series ends on a cliffhanger, and I really hope it gets another season so that they can improve on their mistakes and make it even better. But overall, I think it's serviceable enough package for the fans of the series and for new people to pop on the series and hopefully get into games. And if I have to give a number score to the show, I say it's a solid 6 out of 10. Also, Virgil's in the show and his team is buried light. I fucking love this show. 10 out of 10. Go watch it now. Peak fiction. Oh my god.